I see he's in the chat already. So we glad to have you, Walter. We miss
Hey,
you.
Walter. What's going on, Walter? DJ Dr. KBB is in the building. For Dillard Athletics, yes, we're here.
And I'll tell some of y'all out there who are asking these very, very specific questions, a lot of them related to housing, Rest Life is going to follow up with y'all with the answers to some of those questions. So we won't go very much into detail about it because they will communicate with you directly because everything depends on like where you're living and when you're moving in. So they will provide the communication for that. So with saying that, I'll just jump in. So good afternoon. Welcome to week 3 of our Campus Life and Student Services webinar. We are super excited to have you all with us today. Today we have some of my amazing colleagues from across the university here to answer some of your questions about DU athletics and student life, campus dining, SOAR first year experience, and all of that great stuff. You all know me, I'm Dr. Courtney, the one who sends you all these emails every week. So thanks for tuning in. Dr. Bullard will be joining us later in the call and answering some of those larger questions that some of you have sent in about COVID testing and things like that. So he will be on shortly, but until then, we will jump right in. If you have questions, feel free to drop them in the chat box. Some of you have sent some questions in prior to now. I've shared those with the panelists and they will share those when it's their time to speak. So we will start with, since she's smiling, Miss Wax.
Hey everyone, I am Ms. Wax. For those of you who are already familiar with me, you've talked to me in our virtual sessions on Wednesday and Mondays. If you are not familiar with me, I work in University College, and I am coordinating the SOAR program this year.
Thank you. So Ms. Wax, can you tell us a little bit about what to expect from SOAR? What should I bring? Do I have to come to SOAR if I live in the city? All that good stuff.
Thanks, Dr. Courtney. Yes, so we are inviting all of our students to join us, commuters, residential, transfers. We are going to have programming for each of you. So this is something that we want all of you to attend. We're preparing for all of you to attend, so please make sure you're there. I've been communicating a lot of information via email, so make sure that you're also checking your Dillard email as well as your personal to ensure that you're getting every piece of information being sent to you. We also are posting, if you were not able to attend any of our virtual sessions this past month, we are posting that on Canvas this weekend so that you guys can reference any of those sessions that we've already had, and we will be uploading additional virtual sessions to that Canvas page for you guys to reference later on, because SOAR this year will be virtual. Our parent sessions will be virtual, our SOAR sessions will be virtual, because we want to make sure that everyone is safe and taken care of this year. So I also just want to make 2 little plugs. If you have not already registered for SOAR or completed your clearance process, please make sure that you're doing so. If you need help getting into your email, if you need help getting figuring out how to check your clearance and, you know, where do I find that information? How do I know if I'm cleared? Email us. Our email is soar@dillard.edu, and I will respond to you within 24 hours. So go ahead, send me an email if you have any questions about anything, but you will be receiving an update, and your parents will be receiving an update this afternoon about all of our virtual sessions and what that will look like this year.
Great. Thank you so much, Ms. Wax. So if y'all have any more questions about SOAR Week or, again, first year experience and all of that great stuff, Ms. Wax will be on here. So we'll handle that with the Q&A at the end of the call. Next up, our dining queen, Miss Yolanda Brent.
Hello, 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 everyone. Thank you for joining the call today. And Dr. Courtney, thank you for having me, and Dr. Bullard. Just a couple of updates for dining as it relates to Kearney Dining Hall. We have expanded our hours of operation to accommodate the social distance seating arrangements, and also the change in class schedule. So students can expect to see an extended hours of operations for Kearney Dining Hall this semester. In addition to that, we are also doing Kearney to go. So students will be allowed to take food out of the dining hall if they don't want to sit inside of the dining hall. We are also doing Kearney to go on the first floor of Kearney, which will feature the classic station meals. So those meals that you all like your fried chicken, baked chicken, red beans and rice. So you will be able to use a meal swipe on the first floor of Kearney to take your meal out if you have any class schedules, any scheduling conflicts, or you just feel comfortable eating somewhere else, or if you want to take your food back to your classroom or your dorm room. So you will have that option. OBC Grill will implement mobile ordering. So as it relates to the OBC Grill, students will be able to download the app to their phones and order burgers or whatever they like to order from OBC Grill. In addition to that, we've implemented e-commerce where students will be allowed to order grocery packages for their their dining room, their resident hall, their dormitory. So they will be able to go online and order a grocery package. So whatever thing that they like, as far as, your staple items, if you want soup, salads, cereal, milk, all of those staple items that you have room to keep in your dormitory, you will be able to order that from online. As it relates to Simply to Go in the library and in the student union, we have expanded those outlets to accept meal swipes. So you will be able to use a meal swipe. We have implemented a program called Pick 4, where you will be able to use a meal swipe to purchase a salad, fruit, sandwich, and a drink, things like that during the lunchtime. So, for whatever reason, if you wanted to use one of your meal swipes outside of Kearney Dining Hall, you will be able to do that. We are focusing on reducing the contact at the POS systems, which will allow students just to tap and go their meal card. So you no longer, for those of you that are returning to Diller, you no longer have to give your card to Miss Elaine. You'll be able to just tap your card and go. So just to reduce the contact at the cashier stations to keep everyone safe. We have increased our staffing as it relates to the keeping the sanitation and the cleanliness up in the dining area. So you all will be able to identify people that, if you have any questions around cleaning, if you need anything, we do have staff available to assist in those areas, and we've increased the cleaning and sanitation around dining. I think that's all I have for updates on dining. There will be no self-service buffet. All areas in the dining hall will be served. So we're looking forward to having everyone back, and welcome class of 2024.
Thank you so much, Ms. Brent. We appreciate it. And please tell Ms. Elaine how much everybody loves her. There is actually a thread about her on Twitter with who beat you. So make sure you show that to her. Thanks for joining us.
Yeah, after I get off this call, I actually have a call with Miss Elaine. So we're preparing for her to come back. But again, safety is our top priority, not only for our students, but also for the employees. So we are excited about having the students return to campus.
Amazing. Thank you so much. Next up, we are going to hear from Dillard's biggest cheerleader on campus. That is the fabulous Dr. Kiki Barnes.
Hey, everybody. I hope you all are doing well. We miss y'all so much. Just know that. And we have been working really, really hard, just trying to figure out how to make this work. So it's a situation that none of us, even those I ain't gonna tell y'all my age right now, but all of in our time, we've never seen anything like this in our time. So it is definitely going to be an opportunity for us to lean on each other and to work together to make this work. So as your biggest cheerleader, as Dr. Courtney said, I just want to be a cheerleader for us doing the right thing. It's going to be really critical that we hold one another accountable in terms of the safety protocols that we have put in place for what I would like to call our own bubble. So just like the NBA and WNBA got their bubble, we're going to have to build a bubble. And so we're going to need everybody to commit to that and hold one another accountable. And I believe if we can do that, we'll be able to see the success and we can, be able to be open. But I'll talk a little bit about athletics. Recently, the NAIA made a decision that they were going to move all of the fall championships to the spring. So we recently met yesterday with the Gulf Coast Athletic Conference members, and we have made a recommendation to the Council of Presidents of our conference that we also follow suit and move all of our sports to the spring. It hasn't been approved yet, but I anticipate that it will. So what will that look like for us on campus? One, if we approve that, then we won't have any sports activities happening in terms of events. But I've got some great ideas about how we can create content that'll be fun and engaging using our live stream service during that time. I have had some conversations with our communications and film department about some ideas about just how we can do some things that would be engaging. At the time that we thought we were going to be, and we initially said we were going to participate in sports, there was a conversation about whether there would be spectators if we do. The conference did vote that we will not have spectators. So even if we were having events, we were not going to have people there. Again, we're trying to take into consideration all of the protocols that are necessary. So if we can keep the bubble small and only the certain people are in there, then that's what we would do. That again will be revisited now that there's been a decision to move championships to the spring. Maybe by January, if things look a little bit better, the science and the data looks different and we can move a little bit different, maybe that will change. Again, we can't say that right now. So anyway, we'll have to figure out some creative ways to do virtual swag surfs. Hey, we'll figure it out. I've talked with a member of our Diamonds team about recording, we're doing dance challenges and things that they could potentially get us started with and we could do virtually. I could host a party Zoom if you want to. I could, ones and twos, I got Apple. Hey, it's what y'all want. Let me know. Hey, but anyway, we hope, we know this is something that none of us has ever gone through, and we're going to have to be creative. Like, I feel like this is the time where if you have the idea and we could come together, we could create something that could be really amazing. So what I want to encourage you to do, reach out to me if you got an idea. I am down. Like, I will listen. We can do some really creative stuff. If you got something you think it'll go, I am willing to listen and figure out how we can utilize the resources we have to do a new thing, right? So it just don't have to be so drab and I want to go back to the old way. Let's create something new. Let's do it together. So those are my updates now. If there are any athletes on the call or on the webinar today, you'll be getting some more communication from me directly about what happens after our Council of Presidents meets in terms of what happens for you. So you can reach out to me directly in the meantime, but also be looking out for an email probably Monday. You should get something from me with more specific instructions on how we're going to move forward.
Great. Thank you so much, Dr. Kiki. And y'all, just to echo what Dr. Kiki said, we are thinking of lots of virtual ways to get you engaged, and Lit and Dab will be working with Dr. Kiki's team to make sure that, we're doing some fun things around the games and things like that. So we will definitely be taking care of you in that regard. I'd also like to now welcome Dr. Eartha Johnson to the call. Dr. Johnson is our Dean of Faculty and Student Affairs, and so we've invited her in today just to tell us a little bit about what happens if I'm deciding not to come to campus. Who do I email about that? Who do I talk to? And what would that experience look like to me?
Well, welcome everyone, and thank you all for participating on today's call. Dr. Courtney Williams is one person that knows that he can drag you out of any corner to be online. So I made a mad dash to get online. I've had an opportunity to work with all of my colleagues that are pictured on the screen. I'm just going to shout out to Ms. Yolanda Brent for all the extra stuff you had to do this week for some things that have happened on campus. And you all need to know that Dr. Kiki is live and she's a star on our 1230 WBOK radio station. And she's doing a great job. And I'm the one that predicted it because she was on the line and I sent her a shout out through Twitter. And now she's on there. I'm just so proud of you, Kiki. I just don't know what to do. I'm just busting over. And then I just want to give you a shout out to tell you I've been in communication with none other than our fabulous, fantastic, and phenomenal Vice President for Student Success, Dr. Roland Bedoya. You like it, you like it, you like it. He's been doing a great job as well with everything in terms of keeping our campus safe. And for those of y'all who don't know it, Dr. Bullard was leading the Cavalier charge to bring us back to campus. So he was in charge of all of our teams, risk management, academics in terms of helping us to work through some logistical issues. So we have him to thank for it. And it was his brilliant idea to make together a care package for you, so to speak, when you come. It'll have your mask in it. It'll have other things to keep you safe. So we want to give him a shout out because I think sometimes we take for granted that the student success area is supposed to do it because that's what they're supposed to do. But I think he stepped up to the plate and he overfilled the plate, but then again, he took it and he did something positive with it. So we have him to thank for that event. And we stole Armalee Wax back from LSU. So we're glad to have her back with us. We appreciate all of the things that she did before and what she's doing to help plan. And then none other than Courtney Williams. Dr. Courtney Williams, we want to thank you for your leadership and everything that you've done to help us in student success. Without a moment's notice, we call you at a drop of a hat, and you're always there. I like your new do too. Kind of cool going on. So
Thanks.
that's the kind of spirit that I wanted to convey to you today, students. I wanted to share with you just how we're getting along on campus. That's how we want you all to get along. If there's an issue, if there's a problem, a concern, or just a thought that you might have, reach out to us and let us know so that we can work together to solve any kind of concerns that you have or those that your parents may be concerned about. We've been working together to ensure that there's an opportunity for students to take online classes. So we had a webinar on last night with Registrar Mitchell. We're very pleased about that. And we've increased our response time. So if you responded to us or we've responded to you, it's been in a matter of 24 to 48 hours. So that's been an improvement for us as well. We want to make sure we get you the right information. As far as courses are concerned, you should know that your faculty members have been working diligently to ensure that we do have a full complement. We started with about maybe 15% of our classes online, and we're at 25% and growing. So we have a conglomeration of course offerings, those that are hybrid, those that will have remote access, meaning that you can be maybe at home and looking into the class and participating as well, and those totally online with an online experience. But whatever your choice, you will know that you will get quality and receive quality instruction. There's an opportunity that we've partnered with many universities across the country. It's called acadium.org. You can get more information about that if you would go back and review your email from Mr. Mitchell that was dated on July the 24th. It's July the 24th. So you can go through that system and see whether or not there's some courses that you'd like to take online, if that's your preference. But we want you here on campus. We miss you. We love you, and we want to see you back with us. We're taking all necessary precautions. We're masking up. We're doing everything that we need to do to be able to stay safe, and we want you to do the same too. So, hey, join on in. This is the 51st annual year for Student Support Services. I got a mask from them, and they borrowed and let me have it, and I'm just letting you have it. Oh, don't get alarmed, Dr. Bullitt. I took it. They didn't know I took it. So they've been trying to keep safe too. So I just wanted to bring something humorous to let you know that we all are working together for your safety and for ours, and assure your parents that we are doing the same thing in your other relatives. Now look, make sure you put yours on the right way, go over your nose and underneath your chin,
Thank you.
because that's what we mean business. And so we have to march to the marching orders of Dr. Roland Bullard, who's taken charge of this. Yes, you are. He bosses us all the time, but we're thankful that we have him, and what better time to have leadership like Dr. Bullard during this pandemic. We could not have been more fortunate. Above all, we pray that you continue to remain safe. We pray that you stay well. We want your family members to stay well as well. So since we are all on the same team, as Coach Dr. Kiki says, we are gonna win this thing together. We can beat it. We just have to practice what they tell us to do, and that is to wear your mask, to wash your hands regularly, and then to physically distance and socially distance ourselves. And if you have an opportunity to meet someone or see someone you haven't seen in a long time, just give them an elbow. That's good enough. Just please stay safe and please stay well, because that's our goal and that's our charge, as we provide for you the best opportunity for your academic discourse while you're here at Dillard. I also bring you greetings from my Vice President, Dr. Yolanda Williams-Page, who needed a little vacation, so she took some, but she's still been sending us emails. So we've been responding to her request as well. So greetings from the Division of Academic Affairs. Your faculty will be on campus on August the 3rd, either in the office or either virtually. Make a virtual appointment with them and they'll get back with you. You also have my email, as well as writing to academicaffairs@dillard.edu. Once again, it's a pleasure to see all of you all. We welcome you back to the campus, and we thank everyone that you see pictured here for the great work that they're doing and for the great things we're going to do this semester. We can make it. We need you. Reconnect with us. We need you to. Take care.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Dr. Johnson. We appreciate you being here. So if you all do have any academic questions, please send those in academicaffairs@dillard.edu. Next up, we have Ms. Lewis, who will provide us with a few updates around housing, and then we will wrap up with Dr. Bullard.
Hi, everyone. Mr. Williams, Dr. Williams, if you can just give me a thumbs up to let me know that you can hear me.
Yes, we can hear you.
Okay, awesome. I'm driving, so I'm trying to pay attention to the road, but hi, everyone. Thank you guys for joining our call today. Just one note about what Dr. Johnson had just finished sharing. On the academic side, we are receiving some emails from students saying that they're interested in taking online classes this semester, but they have already been assigned. If you are in that group, then just make sure you email us to let us know whether you're trying to make that decision or whether it has been finalized, so that we can, on our side, take you out of the system so that you can be cleared as a commuting student. I'm saying commuter student, but that you won't have any housing and meal plan charges on your account. That's the first thing. Second announcement is for our student leaders who are approved to arrive prior to August 14th. Those students will be receiving an email from us no later than Monday evening, letting you know your specific move-in instructions. If you know right now that you are not cleared, our staff are busily working behind the scenes on the financial aid side and business and finance side to provide us with an update on your clearance status. But if you know you're not cleared, please go an appointment with them, whether it's a virtual meeting or if you just need to send an email. A lot of the comments that I'm seeing is that some students still have some Parent Plus forms they need to submit, master promissory note forms, and verification documents. So if you know that, please go ahead and get those things taken care of before you arrive, because you will not be able to move in unless you are cleared. For my students who are going to be residing at SUNO, this evening you will receive an email asking you to select or to confirm your meal plan. One of the things we wanted our students to understand is that everyone has been defaulted to our main campus plan, simply because we know that food insecurities do exist in our college community, and I know, especially in all of our students will have enough to eat. For those students at this point, we really want you to reconsider. If you do not have any additional funds to buy groceries on a regular basis, if you do not cook for yourself often, or if you're not cooking meals, you know, that are healthy and vitamins and things that you really need to survive, just please be understanding that this is not only a cost savings opportunity. This was thought out and well planned from our university administrator, and that's the reason why you guys have defaulted to the plan. That's the main campus plan. Also, Miss Michelle Matthew, who is our auxiliary services manager, at some point after the first day of class, she's going to send you guys an announcement as well, letting you know any changes that may be made to your DU dollars and when you can actually start using them. One other note for my students that still know, if you have a room assignment and you notice that the first two letters begin with SU, you will have an official apartment number showing on My DU prior to your arrival date. And it's very important that you guys pay attention to the information that's on My DU that will cut down on the phone calls that we receive, as well as the emails and housing inquiry forms that we're receiving from you. So just go to My DU. Once again, we will refer you to that place for everything. One quick update I can give everybody about move-in. We are still working with various campus departments as well as SUNO staff to finalize all logistics. For example, what gate should I?
Uh-oh. I think we may have lost Miss Lewis. She's back. There we go.
Okay. I'm sorry. So I was just going to say, yeah, I can hear you.
All right, cool. We lost you for a second, but you're good now.
Okay. I was just sharing that for move-in day, that announcement has not been sent out with logistics to students because we're still working through other campus partners. It's not just us operating by ourselves. We do and here's where you to the persons your part will only to come on campus. We will let you know what this is. If there are any gates that would be exit only, we will let you know that information. And
Hey, Miss Lewis. Miss Lewis, you're breaking up a little bit. So what we'll do, once you kind of get to a space where you can talk, you can hop back in, but we'll kick it to Dr. Buller so you can kind of finish driving safely. And y'all, basically what Miss Lewis is saying is that she will be following up with the email, and you'll have very specific instructions on how to move in and how to navigate campus. So please be on the lookout for that. Any very, very specific questions like we talked about earlier, you can send them to housing@dillard.edu. So we want her to drive safe and get where she's going. So without further ado, we will punt the ball to Dr. Bullard.
Hi, everyone. I want to thank everybody, all of our panelists for coming on today. you absolutely, like Dr. Johnson said, you know, you have an absolute stellar team to work with. And so I appreciate every one of them because they work really hard to make sure that that students have a great experience each year. And so I really do appreciate that. I do want to follow up with my staff who got a mask for Dr. Johnson before getting one to me. And so I will follow up with them to understand why that happened. And we'll have some disciplinary action that will be connected to that. So that's what that'll look like. So anyway, I'm just joking around. All right, so I did want to say I typically come on at the beginning of the call just to kind of give context, but this group is awesome, so we don't have to do that. I did want to just have the conversation with the group today around the philosophy for these calls, which is that each Friday, as you all know, the COVID changes things every single day. I mean, it's almost hourly sometimes. And so each Friday until further notice, we will have these calls and we will have the ability for you to pop in here. So if you haven't been able to get somebody by email quickly or what have you, you could always come here on Fridays and just pop in your question. The upside to technology is that some of the questions that you may have, if we don't know the answer, we can text somebody and they can get us the answer before the end of the call. And so this is a place where you'll always be able to get the resources that you need. And so I don't want to hear you out there saying, well, I don't know who to call or who to contact. Fridays at noon every single week until further notice, this is the place where you can come and get any information that you will need. That being said, I did want to mention about testing. In the initial plan that we put out, we said that you have to have your test done before you get to campus, and that is still the case. However, what we have learned is that there are some places based on the surges in those areas or the shortage of testing in those areas that students have not been able to secure testing. And if that is the case, never fear. We have partnered with a number, and this is something that just happened in the last 24 hours. We've partnered with a local organization that will be able to test everybody on campus who needs a test. And so I'm really excited about that because that will provide the opportunity within the first few days that you're here, you'll be able to get a test inside of that time frame. Now, really and truly, I know that we want to have everybody tested, but really and truly, and you've heard this from different people, you really should operate like everyone has the virus. That's the way you should operate with everybody. And I know that seems kind of, disjointed a little bit, but we really do want you to operate this. So you should be socially distancing with your 6 feet. You should be have on your mask. You should be washing your hands. I can't even remember the last time I shook somebody's hand. It's been several months since I shook somebody's hand and even hugged somebody. Now, my wife wants me to hug her every day, but everybody else, I've taken them off the meter. I cannot hug you. Dr. Johnson gives the best hugs. And so I do want to say that you should be operating in that way. So when you get back to campus, you will have the ability to test. Now, that being said, because it's about lines and all this kind of thing, if you have the ability to get tested where you are, go ahead and get that test so that you have a baseline. You know that as of this day, I was negative. I have that ability to articulate that. We will send out a link and we will show you where to upload those test results if you haven't had it. Now, one of the things you may ask is, hey, well, Dr. Bullard, what happens if I get my test results by phone? What I'm gonna ask you to do is when you go into the facility and you are about to do your test, let them know you will need some level of electronic version of the test. Most places they will call with the results, but they have a portal where you can log in, and it's typically in the paperwork that you get, a portal where you can log in and get, even if it's just a screenshot of, hey, this is my name, this is, maybe last four of my social, whatever they ask you for, and have the ability to get that. If they say we cannot do that for you, again, never fear. Once you get here, we can do the test. But if you're coming from far away or what have you the case is, you want to have a baseline. You will want to know what your status is before you get on the road and start moving around, especially if you're going to be using public transportation, plane, trains, automobiles, whatever you're going to be using. And so that's why this is so important. I heard something this week that I thought was pretty disturbing, but it is something that is important. Somebody emailed in to ask about the ability to not be tested. So I don't want to test at all. Unfortunately, that is not an option this fall, okay? If you are in a situation where you say, you know what, I just do not want to be tested, I do not want to go through that, we are going to ask you to work with the Academic Affairs Group to get you online courses for this fall until further notice. But anybody who comes to campus this fall will be subject to some level of testing, random and consistent. So if you're living in Hartselle Hall and we determine that someone has been infected with the virus, we may come to your section of the building and say, hey, everybody on this section, we're going to need you to do a test. That's just the reality of where we are right now. And so we've got to be open to that if we're going to stay on campus. Some people say this is not something I'm comfortable with, then we're going to ask you, we want you to stay in our community. So certainly move to the online option so that you can continue to take courses with us, but you will not be able to participate in campus housing or attend classes even in the hybrid format. You will not be able to do that or participate in any of the in-person campus events that we may have. They'll be very small this year, but even the ones that we have, you will not be able to participate in them if you are not subject to testing. We may have an event, Dr. Williams may have an event, and we determined through contact tracing that everybody at this event was in some way exposed. So we may have to have that group to test. That's just where we are. I'm not saying that to scare you. I'm just simply saying that that's what happens once we go in, like Dr. Kiki said, inside of our bubble. And so we've got to know what people are doing and how they're doing it. But that's the way this is going to work. So please know that that is something that you will be subject to once you hit campus. And that will happen in random and in consistent ways if that's at all possible. The other thing I want to pop back to is something that Ms. Lewis said. For the folks that'll be staying at SUNO, some of you all have emailed me. Everybody who lives on our main campus, they will be defaulted to a full meal plan, a full level meal plan. I think that's 17 or 19 meals, Ms. Brent?
Yes, sir.
For the main campus.
Yeah.
And so at SUNO, because that's at an off-campus facility, what we've done is we've defaulted everybody who is at SUNO to a full meal plan, just like you would have on campus. So that way, anytime you're on campus, you would have the same options to get full meal plans. Our concern is that because some of you had anticipated to be on the main campus, I want you to understand that we're wanting to deal with the fact that you could move into a situation where you don't have the ability to purchase meals or those kinds of things. And food insecurity for college students has become a major issue around the country. And so in order to combat that, what we're saying is you will have the same options to have a full meal plan if you are at SUNO. Now, if you're one of these folks who likes to cook and this kind of thing, and you want to opt out of the meal plan, you have the option to do that. However, what you're doing is you're saying that I have the ability to get all of the vitamins and minerals and all of the good salads and all of the, all of those pieces. I can do all of that in my space. And I know that when I was in college, I didn't have money, like free money to do that all the time. And the first couple of weeks, or right when that refund time frame had happened, I had the money then. But come October, November, things got a little low, all right? They got a little low. And so I want you all to think about that before you were to opt out of that plan, okay? That's the reason why we did that. I know some students have said, why are you doing this? That's the reason we did that, okay? So please do understand we're looking at that issue of food insecurity, and we want to stay on top of that. And so we want to make sure that you have that in your mind. The last thing I'll say, and this is something that everybody else has said, mask on. That's going to be the conversation. Got to have a mask on wherever you go, no matter what you're doing. You have to wash your hands. We're going to have hand sanitizer most places that you're going to go on campus. I'm going to expect that everybody will have some on their person. So if you somebody walk up to you and shake your hand and you weren't expecting it, just go on and hit it with that hand sanitizer and say, nothing personal, but I need to go on and make sure we COVID free, all right? So that's what it is. So go on and hit yourself. I'm gonna have some on my belt. So it'll be like, you know, like you have the cell phone, I'm gonna have that thing on me right whenever I walk around. So make sure you are doing the exact same thing when you're doing that. Also, when you go to your classes, just be considerate of the folks that are moving around you and this kind of thing. Be considerate of faculty. They're coming in every day. They're wanting to teach and make sure that they're there and available, but be considerate of them. If you are sick, stay home. This isn't the time to be, and a lot of people, and I'm guilty. When I get sick, I try to push through and be in the office and this isn't the time to do that, okay? Stay home. Your faculty are fully aware that this is one of those semesters where if you're sick, you may miss, you know, some time out of class. Dr. Johnson and her team will work with you on that. Make sure that you have the right kind of paperwork and documentation, and your faculty will work with you. So don't worry about that. We just want everybody to be safe. And I want to make it all the way to the end of the semester, have a great semester together. I want to be back in the spring. I want to have Blue Devil Classic, Dr. Kiki. I want to do all of those things, okay? And so I really want everybody just to take heed to everything that we have available. Now, somebody asked about moving in and the kinds of folks that they can have. I know that the Residence Life staff has gone to a U+2 type of format. We're going to hold tight to that because we just cannot have the same level of density in terms of the population of people that are moving around campus. We just can't do it this year. So if you have come with your family and you all, you know, come in and you all come in a day early and you have to go to the hotel and, you know, you're kind of waiting to come. Some folks may have to stay back at the hotel. Two of the folks that are going to help people move in, those folks can be here to help move in. And then you'll have to go back to the hotel after that and sort of interact with people there off campus. But you will not be able to have everybody to do it. That to me is one of the toughest parts about the transition that we've had to make this year, because to me, that's the fun part. Is I love meeting moms, dads, and grandmas and everybody when they come in, and then meeting them then on the first day they get here, and then meeting them as they cross the Oaks on graduation day. That's one of the wonderful things about being here at Dillard. And so the fact that we can't do that at that same level this year is really disappointing, but it still will be a joyous day to see you at orientation come the beginning of the semester. So that being said, I'll leave it there, and I know you guys are monitoring, the staff is monitoring questions. Dr. Courtney, is there anything in there that I need to answer while I'm live right now?
That is it. We've actually answered all of the questions that we have for today that we received in the chat and prior to the chat. So y'all, if you have any last minute questions, now is the time to send it through. Oh, and of course, will these weekly webinars be continued during the semester? Will Dr. Kimbrough be doing any more State of the Universities to provide an update? Dr. Bullard, can you answer that one?
Absolutely. So the webinars will continue absolutely until further notice. We'll continue to do that. And then Dr. Kimbrough always does these. And so he'll send out messaging around this. And we'll get him to come and guest star on one of these every couple of weeks or so, just so that folks can see him and interact with him if they can't make his other times. But we definitely will continue to do these. I will also send what I just mentioned around the updates on testing. I will send that out as an email to campus-wide, including our new students, so that you all have something available to you in writing, so you know exactly what I'm talking about in terms of testing.
Great, awesome. The last two questions that just came in, those are for Res Life. So y'all please email those to housing@dillard.edu. They are emailing out the move-in times fairly soon, like Ms. Lewis said. And also they can explain to you the U+2 process and what that will look like, what that will entail, and they'll probably do some type of infographic on it as well that will come out soon. So that should be able to answer all your questions. So,
there's a quick question about whether or not somebody can switch out. Ms. Wax, do you all know if the answer to that question?
So actually, that's what I was just about to come in and talk about. So
Okay.
we, again, will be sending out written communication to all parents that all of our family sessions will be virtual this year. So there will be no reason to do a switch out this year. Simply, we will ask that the families help them move in, and then we will host all of our parent sessions and family sessions virtually.
Okay, so you can do your session from the hotel or something if you're
Yep, exactly.
bar or whatever. Okay, all right, that's good stuff.
Dr. Bullard, can I add, you may mention about meal plans for residential students. I do want to add for our commuter students, faculty, and staff, Michelle will be sending out a dining newsletter that will include information in regards to commuter students, faculty, and staff signing up for a meal plan and how to do that. So look for that information to come out by Monday. How to sign up for the meal plan if you are a commuter student. And so in addition to that, for our resident students, if you would like to add Blue Devil dollars, you could also use that same link to add additional dollars to your meal plan as well. So there will be a dining newsletter that will come out by close of business on Monday.
Wonderful. Thank you, Ms. Brent. Do any of our other panelists have any wrap-up remarks? All right. Well, that is it. We thank you all so much for tuning in today. This has been great. We will do this again next week, like Dr. Bullard said. If you do have questions prior to the webinars, you can email them to me, or you can send them in on Blue Connect anonymously. That's fine as well. And we will make sure that we are answering those for you. Also, if you have ideas of different people from campus that you'd like to see join the panel, then send that to me as well, and we're happy to reach out to them. And like Dr. Johnson said, I kind of have a way of working magic to get folks on these webinars, so we will happily do that for you. You guys have a great week, and we'll talk to you soon.
Man, I got that swag. My head to my bed.
Somebody WBOK, Keep King, South 30 WBOK. Yay!
I can't wait till we get swag again.
Dr. Bullard, I just have to say I love to see when you grab your head. That's your signature move. I'm just letting you know.
Bye, y'all.
Bye. Thank you.
Bye-bye, everyone. We'll see you next week.
Bye, y'all.